Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just purchased this new palette from Anastasia. This is the collaboration with Mario. If you don't know who Mario is, he happens to be Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. So most of us are totally in love with Kim's makeup. It's always super pretty, on point. She never misses a beat. So this is the palette right here. And it comes with a dual brush. So it has this side right here, which you can use to pack on some color on your eyelid or to smoke at your bottom lash line. This side is just a regular blending brush, and you can use that for your transition color. To be quite honest with you, the way that this looked online, I was not very impressed by it. I do follow Anastasia on Snapchat. I saw plenty of pictures, plenty of videos. I was seriously just not impressed. Comparing what this looks like to the modern Renaissance just completely catches your eye. I didn't care for this, but I did wait until it came into the store. The girls from Impulse were amazing, and they gave me a phone call when they got this in because I didn't order it. Like I said, I did not think it was going to be very great. But as soon as I went to the store and swatched the colors, I just had to get it. I mean, the pigment in this palette is so amazing. And I do have to say that the quality is probably, I don't know how it's possible, but just a tiny bit better than even the modern Renaissance. It's a little bit more creamy, more buttery, more pigment, more sparkle than I have ever seen on Anastasia's eyeshadows. Even her singles, which I personally think are a little bit better than what she puts on her palettes, the formula on this, you guys, it's out of this world. I want to create a look with this for you guys today. I'm not going to lie, I wanted to do a first impressions video, and when I was finished filming, I looked at it and I absolutely hated the lighting. So yes, I have used this before. I wanted it to be the first time with you guys. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. My lighting was just not working with me that day. I was not happy with it. So this is take number 2. So once again, here are the colors on the palette. They all look very similar, but once you put them on your eyes, they are actually different enough to where you can create a lot of different looks. And to be honest, I want to create something different than what I filmed for you guys the first time, just because I'm a little intrigued to use some of the colors that I haven't touched yet. So I still don't know what I'm going to create with you guys today. I'm kind of feeling the color NYC and Muse, but I want to show you guys how Claudia and Bronx looks, since they are the colors that are the most different in the palette. So let's start dipping in. I'm going to start off with a side that is a blending brush. I will say something though, as much as I love this, as you can see, there is no shade in here. That is a very like almost white matte color. And I feel that every single palette should have that, so you can put it underneath your eyebrow. I personally don't like adding full-on shimmer in that area. I just like to do a little touch of shimmer right underneath the arch of my brow. But in this case, I don't have that option. And also, this would definitely be complete if it had a black matte shadow. I feel so upset every single time that I purchase a new palette, and then I have to reach through all my other palettes to find a black. Why do they do this to me? So yeah, I guess that's my only thing about this, is that this does have 12 colors. The modern Renaissance has 14. I think this would have been complete if it had a white matte and a matte black. After I am done creating a look for you guys, I will go back and do a swatch with my fingers and with a brush, just so you can see the difference. So if you happen to not want to look at whatever I'm creating with this palette, feel free to fast forward if you just want to take a look at the swatches. So since I did mention that the Mario palette does not have a light matte shade, I'm going to have to cheat on the palette just a little bit, and I will be using white chocolate from my chocolate bar. just to apply right underneath my eyebrow. Now, getting to the real deal, I am going to mix the shade Lula and Isabel and apply that for my transition color. And I do want to share something with you guys. I don't know if you can see all the kick up on these two colors. I don't really mind. I feel like as long as the palette is super pigmented, I can work around that. I just don't want to give you any false expectations, and I will be 1000% honest with you guys. So I just thought that I would show you that. But I don't love it, so I'm going to switch off to what I would normally grab, which is one of my Morphe blending brushes. So for my transition color, I'm going to grab an E27 from Morphe. Another thing, you guys have to be very, very careful with this palette, because do you see how much pigment is in these colors? You need to tap your brush in there very, very lightly. So now that I like the way that Lula and Isabel look on my eye, I'm going to grab the shade Violetta. I'm not trying to murder this name, so we're just going to call her Violetta. And that is going right in my crease. And just to ensure that both colors are blended pretty well, I'm going back with the previous brush I was using, which is an E27. I'm not adding any more product, I'm just going back to blend. So now I'm going to pick up the color Muse, but since that is a shimmer shade, I am going to spray my brush. And I do this with all shimmer shades. I am not doing it particularly just on this palette. That color is amazing. So this is what it looks like so far. But I do want to create a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to go in with Kim and apply that right in the center. So I'm going to apply highbrow right underneath my waterline. So with a Morphe E36, I'm going to go into Claudia and apply that right in the outer corner of my eye. Now for the inner corners of my eye, I'm going to dip into Bronx. For that, I'm using a Morphe 207. We are just going to make both of these colors meet. So to highlight the inner corners of my eye, I'm going to dip into Fifth Avenue with an M515. And we are also going to add Fifth Avenue right under the arch of my brow. You might need a good pair of sunglasses for this one. So this is the final look on the eyeshadow. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and now we can move on to swatching. So to do the swatches on my arms, I think it's only fair that I use primer just like I would on my eyelids, because let's be real, nowadays nobody wears eyeshadow without eye primer. So I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay primer. and just apply that all over my arm. So first I'm going to dip into Hollywood with my finger. And this is a beautiful champagne color. And then here is the same shade with a brush. So as you can see, this is super pigmented. They look exactly the same. Now I'm going into NYC. And then now here is NYC with a brush. Now we're going into the color Kim. And here's Kim with a brush. Now we're dipping into the color Muse. And here is Muse with a brush. As you can see, most of these colors probably look even better with a brush than with my fingers. Next color we have is Marina. And here is Marina with a brush. Now we are going into the shade Claudia. In Claudia, it is not the best color in the palette. It is a very, very beautiful shade, but it does not swatch well, at least not with my finger, as good as all of the other ones. And there's Claudia with a brush. So now I'm going to wipe all of this off. Here they are, first row one more time. This palette, we are dipping into Lula. So there is Lula. Lula is a beautiful cool tone taupey brown. And there she is with my brush. And now my favorite color in this palette is Isabel. Not only because it's my puppy's name, and to me Isabel is the most perfect warm transition color. It's beautiful. It's definitely my favorite. Now we are going into Violetta. And here she is. This is a beautiful like brick color. Could not be more perfect for your crease. Now we're going into Fifth Avenue. I'm not gonna lie, Fifth Avenue is pretty amazing. It's pretty blinding, as you can see. And just when you thought there was no palette or brush swatches were better than finger swatches, well, here it is. And bronze, I feel like, kind of has the same consistency as Claudia. Not the best finger swatch. Let's try it with a brush. It's kind of like a greenish brown. It is very, very pretty. Too much light. And last but not least is Paris. Gorgeous color as well. I mean, there really is no color in this palette that is not beautiful. I mean, Anastasia just really blew it out of the water this time with the consistency, with the colors, with how creamy and buttery all of these colors are. I really have no complaints other than there is a lot of kick up when you dip your brushes into this palette. Like I said, it's totally worth it. I really don't care. I can definitely work around that. You just have to be careful if you already added foundation to your face and you're doing your eyes after. I mean, I didn't have a problem, but a lot of people might want to just put a lot of setting powder underneath their eyes just so they can very easily wipe it off and you don't ruin the rest of your makeup. But I really have no complaints about this. I think that it's truly amazing. The only thing that I really do wish this had is a matte black, like I mentioned earlier, and a color for underneath your brow, which I prefer that to be a matte, very light color, almost white. If it had that, to me, it would be the perfect palette. I could probably travel with this everywhere I went. But because those two colors are missing, I would have to bring another palette with me, which is kind of a bummer. If not, it would be the most perfect palette I have ever used. Quality-wise, no complaints, you guys. That's my fiance. He's getting sick. You hear him sneeze? Poor thing. But I really do wish that you guys enjoyed this review and this little tutorial that I did for you. If you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below if there's anything specific that you would like to see from me. And don't ever forget that this is all just fun and games. It's just makeup. If you mess up, wipe it off. And don't forget ever that you are beautiful with it and without it.